Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Auto Trail Tracker SB, which is a 2021 model. So starting with walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. First point you get to is your mains connectivity point. So you slide the wheel flap up there, hit the hooker blade, expose the ends, and then just connect to the vehicle, and then connect to your power source and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle. Below, you've got your drain valve for your wastewater, so you simply pull the handle out and it'll drain any wastewater. So this is anything you put down the plug hole. So this will go into a holding tank, and then normally on the way out of the site you drive over the motorhome service pitch and you drop this off. It's very important that you allow this out in the winter, as you wouldn't want it to freeze. Got storage there behind the kitchen, and all the lockers open with the little key. Here you have your freshwater filler, so you put your hose pipe in there and it'll fill the fresh water. Or if you couldn't get a hose pipe to the vehicle, and you can get a drum of water or an aqua roll, you can get a pump that goes in there. One end goes in there and one end goes into the aqua roll. Then you would turn tank filling on in the settings on the control panel. That'll suck the water out of the drum into the main tank. Got an external shower point, so it's good for hosing the dogs, the boots, the kids off. And it's just like a hose pipe, so there's a hose that connects with the hose lock end into there, with a trigger gun on the other end of the hose. Make sure the pump's on the control panel and you get pressurized cold water. Got your vent for your heating hot water, so this indicates that the boiler's behind here. And then below, this is your fresh water drain. So if you're skiing, pulling this is fresh water. So this is anything you've filled up with. So if you're draining down for the winter, you've taken on contaminated water, or you're simply not using the vehicle for a couple of weeks, you can allow the water out by just pulling the lever. You've got your storage in the back there, so your carpets, your vents, for winter vents for your fridge, and your ladder on the other side. At the back of the vehicle you've got your high level brake light, and then your reverse camera directly underneath the Auto Trail badge. And then you've got these spool bars, one behind the number plate, one higher up. So if you ever fit a bike rack, this is where the back panel has been strengthened to take the weight of a bike. And then you do have a detachable tow bar here. So there's already a video on the channel how to put these on and off. And you have got the electrics there, which tuck away neatly behind the bumper with 13-pin electrics. Coming down the passenger side of the vehicle, so you've got your garage on the back, which I've shown you. And then you've got your cassette. So push them both in, ensure the blade is in the closed position. What you'll be able to do is lift the orange handle and slide the cassette out of the vehicle. You've got a handle on there so you can drag it to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet and showering block on site. And then empty, remove the cover, press the button which allows air in, stops it glugging, gives it a consistent flow, and then you just empty it out like so. It's just the water we've tested it with. Once you've emptied it out, there's normally a tap, so normally people put some water in, put the cap back on, give it a final rinse, tip out again. Then if you're using a liquid form of chemical, it's 120ml cap there for your chemical, which is either your blue or your green. Or you can use the tablets, which is blue or green. Put the cassette in bone dry, open the blade, flush about a pint of water into the cassette before putting a tablet down in the cellophane form. This will then break up into the liquid, but they're just easier to store, and ask your site which liquid or chemical they prefer you to use, because some will want you to have the green, some might want you to use the blue. Next to it you've got your external gas point. So there's a little gas spigot there which connects to your gas hose and via some Jubilee clips to connect to your barbecue, your awning heater. And what you can do is you can pop that into there and then turn this on, and it will run off the main bottle on board, so you don't have to carry a spare bottle when you are travelling. The two fridge vents, which is where the covers go behind it in the winter, and you can still use the van with them on, just protects the elements. And then at the front, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker. So in here you can fit 2 gas bottles. This is our test bottle, so it's a 6 kilogram propane you want to use on the vehicle. Make sure the strap's on when it's strapped into position. To connect the pigtail, it's a left-hand thread, and then you'll need either a gas spanner or an adjustable wrench to nip up, and then you can turn it on and off from the top of the bottle. Once you've turned it on, there's a little crash valve sensor here, which is this black button. Press that, allows the gas through the tube, and then there's one up here which says on here it's the reset for the crash valve, which is just this yellow dot here. So if that ever pops out, that's probably why you're not getting gas through the vehicle. It needs to be pushed in. But you can have 2 bottles on board. And then at the door of the passenger, you've got your diesel filler, which opens with the main ignition key, 70 litre diesel tank, and then you've got your AdBlue, which is a 19 litre AdBlue tank. It's 5,500 miles from a full tank of AdBlue. When you do get the light on, which will come between the temperature and fuel gauge on the Fiat, it looks like an exhaust light. You top it up with AdBlue as soon as you can, otherwise if you let it go completely dry of AdBlue, it will fail to start the engine. And you can buy it on the pump, or you can buy it in the drums and top it up. So you may want to keep a 10 litre drum in the garage in case you're in a place that doesn't have AdBlue. Tyre pressure here, so 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi all round. You do have a spare wheel which is underslung behind the tow bar, and there's a tool kit here which has got a jack and a brace and a towing iron. And your bonnet, or should I say your battery, is underneath the floor for your engine battery, and your bonnet release is on the dashboard there. So we'll have a quick look underneath the bonnet. You've got all your fluids to your left, so starting off with screen wash, then you lift this cover off and you've got your power steering fluid and your radiator coolant, your brake fluid, your oil filler, and then located next to it is your dipstick, your earth for giving or receiving a jump start, and then if you put your key in here and just lift the cover behind the headlight, which is this one here, it exposes the positive terminal for giving or receiving a jump start. And then you put your weight plate on the front there, so 3,650 gross vehicle weight, 4,900 kilograms train weight, so that's the motorhome. Whatever you're towing, can't exceed that when towing. Now inside the vehicle, this is your main 12 volt control panel. Here it shows that we are hooked up and on main 240 hookup. And to turn on, you've got your master switch here, which will either give you mains hookup should you be hooked up, or if not, it will just give you 12 volt off your leisure battery. Underneath, you do have your pump, so this services your interior shower, your exterior shower, your toilet, your hand basin and your sink. You must have this on. You'll hear it pressurise until it gains enough pressure and it'll cut out, and then it'll just kick back in when the tap is opened. You've got your interior lights, which are on here, the master switch, and they all individually switched around the vehicle. You've got your awning light, and you've got your light dimmers, which will dim these lights here. If you press and hold, it'll dim these lights like so, and you can set the dimmer level. Underneath the pump, you've got your water level. So this shows we've got 100% of water on board and 0% waste. And go down, it's your battery levels underneath. So your leisure battery is reading 14.2 volts, your vehicle battery is reading 13.6. The active battery should always be the leisure battery, and is the current coming off the active battery is 2 amp. You've got your mains current, which is 10.5 amp, and you've got your solar current, which is coming into the vehicle at 2.3 amp. Please note that your solar does go to sleep when you are on mains hookup, because this is the bigger source of electricity and takes priority. And then if you go into your settings here, so you always want the active battery to be leisure. Don't put it on vehicle and don't put it on smart, because it will change over, and if it changes over during the night and goes on the vehicle, it could drain the battery. But you always want the solar. You can change the solar to smart, so the smart will pick up what battery needs it and it will send it over to, so say the vehicle battery is fully charged but the Leisure's not, the Leisure will get the charge off the solar, or it might be vice versa. But if it's standing, just put it on the vehicle, as you don't want the vehicle battery to be dead and have to have a jump start, or call the breakdown company to come and rescue you. Your tank fills here, so this would be, you'd have to turn this on here if you are filling from an aqua roll or a holding container with the submersible pump like I've shown you outside. And then you do have the tank heaters underneath, which you can turn on if it's going to be a cold night. It stops the water from freezing in the tank. If you go on, you've got your lighting settings, so you can set your dimmers. This is just your screen settings, and you've got your date and time settings. And then you've got your heating and ventilation timers for your Truma. So you've got your heat override. And you can change the source here as well. But this is all explained in your handbook, as it's new for the 2020 model. And to operate your Truma digital combi heating and hot water panel, so if you press and hold, you'll give it power and you'll get a screen like this. And then to enter, if you just press on here, you've got settings, so you've got a van with a thermometer in. This is the temperature of the van, so you can have it all the way to off should you not want heating, or all the way to 30 degrees should it be cold. So for this we'll just say 21 degrees. Once you're happy with it, just press on the wheel and that presets it. Moving along, you've got your water, so this is how hot you want your water, so you're going to have it on off if there's no water in the system. Eco, hot, or boost. Boost prioritizes the water from the heating, so we'll just say hot. And then this is the energy source. Moving on, so you've got electric on 2 kilowatts, which you'd use if you've paid your site fees, you don't want to waste your gas. You've got electric on 1 kilowatt should you be on a smaller CL site which doesn't have a lot of electricity. You may have to use 1 kilowatt of electric. You've got a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatts of electric, which you'd use in the winter to heat the van or the water quicker. You've got a mixture of 1 kilowatt and gas, or you've got gas on its own should you be well camping and not hooked up. You'd have to use this, but for this we'll say electric on 2. Press. You've got your fan speed, so Eco uses this is a 12 volt fan, so Eco uses a little bit less of your 12 volt, and high will use a lot more. So if you're well camping, obviously you want to prioritize what you're using, so you'd have to put it on Eco to save a bit of your 12 volt Leisure battery. Below you've got your timer, which you can set, but you can set your timers on here as well for the this heating system. You've got your clock, so you can, this is just a clock that displays on the display panel there, and you've got a spanner there, so should your heating fail you can go all the way down to reset and press and hold and reset your boiler. So in the kitchen area you've got 3 lit gas rings there, and then you do have 1 electric hot plate, which is this one here, which operates the electric hot plate only when hooked up. And once you've used anything, if you allow it to cool before you put the cooker hood down, otherwise you might smash the glass with the heat. Underneath you've got your hob and your grill. So you've got your grill there, and you'll hear the fan on the cooker kick back in when the, and you've got the oven below. If you take your oven shelf out, always make sure that the 2 sticky out bits go at the back, which is just allowed, which is just for the burner to be allowed to have an air circulation and that nothing's blocking it directly on top. Pushing the panel underneath is where you will find the plug for your hob. So your electric hot plate, should it be giving you any bother, you can switch that off or unplug it. And you'll also notice you've got your water pump on the back, which will kick in, and then this yellow tap here is very important. So part of your winterization process to keep your warranty from motor trail is to winterize the vehicle. If you don't winterize the vehicle in the winter when you're not using it, water could freeze, crack pipes, crack tanks, break the boiler, and it'll cost you a lot of money to repair. So to winterize, what you need to do is, like I've shown you outside, open the fresh and the waste water by pulling the handles. Open all the taps throughout the vehicle. You want to open the boiler tap, which is this tap here, so when it's lying down like so, it's holding 10 litres of water in the boiler. Lift it up, 10 litres of water will drain directly out underneath the chassis. Leave that stood up during the time you've got it in storage or not using it, parked on the drive. And then when you come to reuse the vehicle, shut the taps outside, shut the taps inside, shut this tap, fill it with water, come in, put the 12 volt control panel on and turn your pump on. Go to the cold side of the tap first, you'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it will cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises. Don't think it's broken, don't be alarmed. Give it 2 or 3 minutes and you'll get pressurized water. And then the system is pressurized and you can do all the other taps throughout the van, and then you should have a decent flow of water on the hot side. You've got storage in here, then you've got this handy worktop extension, and underneath is where you'll find your cutlery drawer. Clicking these buttons here on both sides, I'll drop that back down and then it just clips in, so you just push it as it's on a push fitting. Microwave only works on mains and the plug's in there, so it's a household. I think it's a 800 watt microwave, yes it is. And then you've got your plates and your cup rack in the cupboard there. So to operate the fridge, this is a Thetford fridge, so you turn on and off by pressing and holding the black button in the left hand corner. Press again, it'll turn back on. And then A stands for automatic energy selection. So the vehicle knows what source you have available at any one time. And that'll switch between hookup, 12 volt battery, which is a feed off the engine when it's running, or gas. So if I was to take the hookup out now, it would switch over to gas. If I was then to start the engine, it will go to the 12 volt setting, which is only designed to keep the temperature it was previously set at. So if you've pre-chilled it at home the night before, put your shopping in, great. Or if you're travelling from site to site, your shopping will stay nice and fresh. If you're wild camping, you will have to go onto gas. Please note the automatic setting waits 20 minutes before lighting on gas for safety reasons, because if you pulled into a petrol station, you've knocked the 12 volt off, it'll not find 240 volt hookup because you're not hooked up, but you've left your gas open, it would have lit on gas. But it's waiting 20 minutes, so if you want to manually override, press the square button, wait for it to flash, and then use the arrows. So there I've got a mains hookup on its own, and you click enter. I've got a battery on its own, or you got gas on the end, which is a gas flame. Click OK. This is your temperature. So when pre-chilling, have it on 5. When you put your shopping on board, turn it down to 2 to 3 or 4, and then there it's lit on gas. You've got your freezer box and your large storage bins. When you're winterizing the vehicle as well, it's very important that you winterize the fridge, which is take everything out, give it a clean, and then pull that blue catch in the middle here, like so. Rest the door up against it and don't shut it, and it'll allow air circulation in and out. And then stored beside it, you do have your table, which you can put at the front or you can take outside, and it's a freestanding table where you just erect the legs. So above your fridge, you've got your Wi-Fi system, which is another video already done on the channel, which I'll attach to this particular customer when I'm sending the link over. And you've got a max view TV aerial, so it's a fixed aerial, and the only adjustment you've got is in the booster, which is this, the amplifier. So you can use the black wheel here and boost or weaken the signal should it be too strong and you're getting interference, or it's not strong enough and you need to give it that little bit of boost to get a good enough TV signal. So to work the electric bed, make sure the lights are put on the panel, because this is how it's being wired. And then if you turn the key to the horizontal position, that's turned the switch on. Then you can use the up and down press and hold, don't keep clicking, just press and hold. You need to take the headrest off, just the one in the corner there. And there you have it. And then you would release the cord to release these from being trapped in the motor. You've got your safety rails which clip onto here if you're putting your children in. Or they can be tucked away underneath the mattress. And then you've got your ladder which is in the garage of this one, which clips onto here. So this bed can take up to 200 kilograms. And then you've got a little light switch in the top corner for a reading light. There is a safety fuse underneath which I'll show you when I put the bed back up. You press and hold and put the bed back up. Take your pillows off. You can leave a duvet on there, but don't put any mattress toppers on or anything. Or if you can, find the thinnest one you put on, because sometimes they can blow a fuse. And then in here you've got 2 relays and you've got a 15 amp resettable fuse by the little tab there, which is on here. You'll also notice they've got a sticker in here. This is your unique chassis number to the motorhome side, so the caravan body. So if you ever need parts, quote that number. We'll be able to put it into the Auto Trail system, or any other Auto Trail dealer will be, and they'll be able to get you parts. So to operate your toilet, ensure the pump's on the main control panel. Then what you'll be able to do is press the blue button there, which is the electric flush. Always flush the toilet first, which just lubricates the seal. And then what you want to do to ensure everything goes into the cassette is open the blade, which is this square lever here. So slide it to the right. Use the toilet with the blade open. Then flush after use. If you want to use any pink liquid or ball cleaner, put it into a spray bottle and spray and then flush, as it's just a fresh water feed. Then flush after use and then close to the left, which seals the blade, and you'll be able to get the cassette out the outside of the vehicle when it is full, which you'll get lights underneath the diagram of the cassette indicating that it's time to empty it and retop it up with chemical. Toiletry cupboard there, and you've got a complimentary sample of blue from Thetford. Got another one here, and then you've got a skylight above, so you pull your weight down on it, slide it along. Then you have a fly screen and a blackout blind, but you always want to make sure these are always shut before you travel. Same with your windows, so always make sure that the lugs of the plastic lids are in the L-shaped plastic catches, and then give it a final tap just to make sure it's shut and it's secure. You'll notice that the bathroom door also acts as the bedroom door, so if you're using the shower across from it, you'd make sure these are tied back, your shower screens are tied back when travelling, and you'd make sure that part of your winterization process is to unscrew the shower head from the hose, lie the hose in the tray, and leave the mixer taps open throughout the vehicle. So as this is a Tracker SB, you've got your 2 single beds, but you do have an option of making it into a double, which is these boards here live in there, as there's 2 chocks which store them away in the wardrobe. What you do is you put them into here, so I'll show you. So using the boards, there's a little rail on there. You sit them on there and they evenly position themselves out, and then use this grey cushion, which is an infill cushion, and if you really wanted to, you could sleep widthways across the vehicle. You've got independent reading lights at the back and storage cupboards, and you've got a twin USB on that shelf there for charging your devices. So underneath your rear travelling seats, if you lift the cushions off and lift the wooden slats off for support, you've got your, so normally they just come with 1 leisure battery. This customer has opted a second one, which is in this yellow box. You've got 20 amp fuse for this battery, which just slots in on the floor there, it clips in. And then you've got two 20 amp fuses on the main battery from Auto Trail, which is your banger 92 amp hour battery. Just there. And then when traveling, if you're using the traveling seats, this whole section will just lift out. It's just a wooden slat, same as this. Just lifts out there, and you can store it on the bed at the back, so you can travel with your two rear passengers. So to operate the Aptex TV, there's a master switch just on the left hand corner here. So make sure that's switched on, and then the light will show red. Using the remote, point it down at the light and it will go blue, which will bring on the TV. And then each time you move, you will have to retune the telly. So it's very important you do this, and to do that, what you've got to do is you've got to just press AQT, big orange square button there, and it'll start to run a digital program tune, and it'll find as many channels as it can where you are. If you were struggling, you would just adjust the TV amplifier, which is in here, and retune again. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver, you do have your handbrake, and then on the windows, to black them out, you've got your Remus cab lines on passenger and driver. So if you pinch and slide along, you can black them out. And then on the windscreen, if you pinch and slide in like so, you can black the whole cab out for on an evening. And then you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments, which does the top and the bottom, so two positioning on each mirror. Headlight adjustment, rear fogs, and turns your stop start off should you not want it. Or with this being an automatic, you just put your foot on the brake, and should the battery be charged enough, it will cut out at the traffic lights, lift your foot off the brake, and it will cut back in. You have your trip computer on the end of your wiper stalk, which goes through your travelling times, average speed, average distance, range, consumption, a lot. And then you've got lights and indicators, all your steering wheel controls, and then behind you've got cruise control. So you get your desired speed, put your cruise control on, which is the one up, and push up. Should you have to brake, you can cancel it, resume it here, or you can cancel it on the stalk. So cancel resumes this one here. You can speed up or slow down, and if you go to the bottom, and then at the bottom you've got the speed limiter. So if you go up slowly, you go up in ones. If you push and hold, it goes up in fives. But it does have the kick down function, so you can see your speed limiter in the top left hand corner. Push the accelerator harder and it'll override the speed limiter should you need to, as it is a safety feature. This model is fitted with a 9-speed gearbox, which your customers opt for. That comes standard as a manual. So park at the top, go down into reverse, which brings on your rear view camera should the engine be on. So I've got to pop it back into park, start it up, and then go into reverse, which obviously brings your camera on like so. And then that solid beeping behind is just to say I'm hooked up, so don't drive anywhere, because you've only got 25 meters on a hooker blade. And then obviously you can go down to neutral, and you can go to drive, push out for manual, and you go up and down in the modes. You can go to eco, normal, or power. To be fair, you don't see any gain in eco, but in power it just holds the revs slightly longer and holds the gear. Coming down here, you've got traction control and hill descent control, hazards, locks the doors on an evening, and you've got your heated mirrors. USB for charging and 12 volt for charging. Cup holders. You've got your USB in there for the head unit, and you've got another glove box there. Temperature. Fan speed must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work, and then you've got your distribution, so where you want the air to go to, and whether you're bringing fresh air in or you're circulating air within the vehicle. So to operate your accent head unit, obviously turn on and off through here. It'll come on with the ignition. Anyway, you've got navigation, which your chip's in the top, and then you go, shows you a map where you are. You go to the 3 lines in the bottom right, go to new route, address, and then in the middle you can put your postcode or town where you want to navigate to, and then you go to town and then start navigation, and it will navigate you to your destination via an address or a postcode, or of course you can use the one above, which is a street name. Going back to home, you've got radio, which is FM AM, and obviously you can press 1 to 6 on preset to save your favourite FM radio stations. But it is DAB as well, so you can go to DAB, but in some places you can't get a strong enough DAB signal, so you may have to swap over to FM. Go to list, obviously it shows all your national, and it shows our regional stations, which is Tyne and Wear, because we're in Newcastle. And again, you can press preset and save 6 channels. Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, so you go into your phone, start searching for it, and this unit's called an XF270, that's the model number. And then once you start searching for it, this will search for it in your phone, and it'll come up with your device, and you just press pair. Then on your phone it'll ask you if you want to pair, which you just press pair, and then it'll ask you if you want to sync your contacts and say allow. So then whoever is in your phone book and rings you when you're driving will come up with a name if they're saved instead of just a number. You do have on the Bluetooth as well the option for Bluetooth audio, which is the music symbol, so once you are connected to it you'll be able to click that and stream your music from over Bluetooth from your device. Go to home, you can go along and you can USB, so again USB is in the top glove box, so USB iPod will come on, camera if you were ever to tow anything, should the engine be on. If I just turn the engine on there, go to camera, like so. This camera can be on permanently, but then you can still scroll through your options. So if you were towing a small car or you wanted to see out the back of the vehicle when merging on the between lanes on the motorway, you can do. And then if you ever, sometimes if these go slow and glitchy, you've got to update them, and you would just go onto the Accent website, software update, make sure it's an F270 for this model, put it on download it onto a USB from your laptop or your computer, plug it in, go to setup, go to other, and then you would install software here, and then it would have a tick once that USB is in with the software, and you can install the new software onto there. But you can see what version you're running, so this is running version 2 at the moment. There might be a new update that you may just have to install if it ever was to get slow or glitchy.